discretionary. We're not going to go buy anything else. And so we have a real series of challenges. We have a deeper challenge, which you know in Springfield, which we know in Sacramento, we know in Albany. And that is that the systems of governance that we've inherited are decaying. That you now have interest groups so powerful that democracy is simply a shadow event floating on top of the power of the interest groups. And it's literally irrelevant who wins in California. They can't change Sacramento. It's virtually irrelevant in Albany. I would say it's largely irrelevant in Springfield. And increasingly it's coming to Washington. The level of effort it would take to change the system is beyond the imagination of most elected officials and beyond the imagination of most candidates. And that's where we are. Now, Lincoln, I think, gives us some hints that are really, really important and which most of the modern Republican Party doesn't have a clue of. Lincoln in 1859 stands at Council Bluffs, Iowa, looks across the Missouri, and says we need a transcontinental railroad. And as a deliberate strategy to bind California to the Union, they designed a project of such enormous scale that there's no comparable modern that. They complete the railroad in 1869. But what makes Lincoln amazing, and typical, I would argue, of the kind of Republican that Reagan was, even though Reagan had begun his life as a Democrat, was an intuitive, deep belief in technology and in science. And the thing I find most disheartening about this campaign is the difficulty of talking about positive ideas on a large scale, because the news media can't cover it, and candidly, my opponents can't comprehend it. And the result is you can't have a serious conversation. It doesn't fit. It doesn't count. It's as though it didn't occur. And yet Lincoln is the model. Lincoln runs for the state legislature for the first time at 23 years of age in 1832. In his platform is the call for a railroad. Now, what makes this amazing is the railroad was invented in 1829 in Great Britain. The first railroad engine arrives in the United States in 1831. Lincoln has never seen a railroad engine. But he's read of it, and he gets it. And he understands that if you have the great prairies of Illinois, that a railroad would be better than walking. And so in his very first campaign, he's calling for technological change. He goes on to become a railroad lawyer. One of the most important cases on navigation on the river that decisively changed American transportation history. In addition, he is the only president to have had a patent. He actually patented a particular mechanical device for raising the ship. As president, he spent time on a regular basis having people come by with various new kinds of war-making capabilities, and showing him over the Navy Yard, and people wandered with all sorts of things. The Gatling gun would be an example, or a torpedo. This was a very technologically oriented person. I experienced the same thing with Ronald Reagan. Because Reagan had grown up in rural Illinois at a time when movies were silent films. His first job was in radio in eastern Iowa. His second job was at WHO. He was a radio broadcaster at a time when it was illegal to broadcast the news. I was in one night, the newspapers had passed a law that radios had an unfair distribution advantage, and therefore they should not be allowed to have news because it would drive newspapers out of business. So it was literally technically illegal to broadcast news. Reagan one night told a very poignant story about the earthquake of 1932 in Los Angeles, and knowing that many Iowans were in Los Angeles, that he and the engineer worked out that they would accidentally lower the volume of sound from the big band coming from New York and read the telegrams as they came in from Los Angeles and accidentally be picked up reading the telegrams about the earthquake. And they did. They said it was remarkable. 2 o'clock in the morning, AP Los Angeles wrote, the building is now falling in. This is AP Los Angeles signing off. The reason I say this is Reagan goes from growing up as a child before there was an airline to reporting to the nation when the Challenger blows up in one lifetime. So he had this innate sense. He used to always say, you ain't seen nothing yet. And he believed it. We are at the edge of such extraordinary opportunities, and it is so hard to get this party to understand it. We're at the edge of extraordinary opportunities. We can provide for the American people such a dramatically better future that it's almost unimaginable. And our political system is so methodically and deliberately stupid. And I use that word deliberately. The willful avoidance of knowledge. That is astonishing. One of the reasons I ran for president, I spent years trying to convince the Bush administration that if they would apply modern technology to the health system, that they would save lives and save billions of dollars. One example. American Express has a sufficiently sophisticated anti-fraud system. The 0.03 of 1% of American Express is spent on fraud. New York State Medicaid spends more than 10% to close. That means as a taxpayer, you are 330 times, 33,000% more likely to pay a crook than you are as an American Express card holder. Now, this is willful avoidance of the modern world by bureaucrats who believe in a paper-based 9-to-5 system that is utterly and totally incompetent. So the bureaucrat with paper competing with a crook who has an iPad. And that's the modern world. And nobody seems to be willing to break it. Second example, we've had a technological revolution in how we get natural gas and oil. And this revolution is only in the last decade. And it has changed everything. And virtually nobody in Washington gets it. The state of North Dakota, 15 years ago, had 150 million barrels of recoverable oil. I was campaigning a week ago, reporting that the state of North Dakota has 4 billion barrels of recoverable oil. 2 days ago, they reported that they now believe they have 24 billion barrels of recoverable oil. And the fact is, they believe with another generation of technology, in 20 or 25 years from now, there will be 500 billion barrels of recoverable oil. This is North Dakota. This isn't Alaska. This isn't California, where the Monterey Formation, we believe, has 80 billion barrels. This is one small state. Their current unemployment rate is 3.5%, and that overstates it because they have 16,000 jobs they can't fill in the oil patch because the people on unemployment don't have those. Which is why I propose to modernize unemployment compensation, so you have to take a training program if you get unemployment compensation. So the same breakthrough in employing technology has led to us moving from a position where we had 7 years of natural gas supply, and we were about to start importing billions of dollars of liquefied natural gas from the Middle East. Today, we have 125 years of natural gas supply. And we're about to start exporting liquefied natural gas to China. And even the president has said that it's probably worth 600,000 jobs over the next decade just in natural gas. So when I campaigned on $2.50 a gallon gasoline, this is actually an understatement. If the price of gasoline were to drop as much as the price of natural gas has dropped in the last 4 years, it would be $1.13 a gallon.
Wow.
We're not reporting on $90. I'm telling you that factually, in the last 4 years, we've increased the production of natural gas in the U.S. by 11%, and the price of natural gas has dropped so dramatically that if it were applied comparably to gasoline, it would literally be $1.13. Now, I'm not suggesting that they're exactly parallel, there are various technical differences, but I'm suggesting the direction is the same. And the fact that the Secretary of Energy yesterday decided that he was no longer for $9 or $10 a gallon gasoline tells you how much heat. I mean, I've been in a running fight with the White House for 2 weeks on this. This is an issue every Republican in the country could use to drive home two or three things. One, we're not in the business of punishing the American people liberals are. Two, we're not in the business of taking away your choice of what kind of car or truck to buy liberals are.